everybody. I'm Missy Hughes with the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. It is our weekly live stream from southwestern Wisconsin. I'm glad to have everybody here. I am the CEO and Secretary of WEDC, and we have had a couple of these live streams. I want to remind you that the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation is a state entity that is designed to help projects and communities all around the state. And of course, right now we are really focused on recovering from the COVID-19 crisis. As we continue to move through this, we are trying to help businesses and seeking resources and information to be able to help businesses recover from this time. So a fair amount has happened since last week, and I wanted to give you some updates on what we've experienced and what we've been seeing around the state. First and foremost, on Wednesday evening, you probably are aware that the Wisconsin Supreme Court overturned Governor Evers' Safer at Home order. So this meant that we were able to have a situation where our businesses and everybody was able to determine on their own what to do as far as opening or staying closed. And we've been through a few days of deciding how to act. We've had localities and municipalities make determinations on their own. So we had a few counties that determined they wanted to have a safer at home order. So the best thing for you to be able to decide and understand what your current status is to reach out to your local chamber of commerce or a local economic development corporation, and they can help you understand what's going on in your area. But really what I want to mention about this is the fact that just before that, Friday, a week ago or so, WEDC launched a series of guidelines. And these guidelines are designed to help businesses understand, what do I need to do in order to reopen? What should I be thinking about? And we have a set of general guidelines, which talks about everything from social distancing within your workplace to sanitizing and disinfecting, wearing masks. It also talks about what to do if you have a sick employee or something like that. And then we have a set of guidelines that are very specific for different types of businesses. So if you're a restaurant or a cafe, if you are some kind of entertainment, if you're a hairstylist, if you're in construction, there is a description of guidelines there for you to use and to think about as you're standing in your place of business. How do I keep my employees safe? How do I keep my customers safe? So I really encourage you to look at our website, wedc.org, to be able to find those guidelines. The other thing that we launched just at the end of last week, again with the intention of helping businesses reopen safely, protect customers and employees, is the Wisconsin Supplier Network. So the Wisconsin Supplier Network is something that WEDC has had in place for some time, which helps connect businesses along the supply chain. If you're looking for a particular piece of equipment or something else in order to build a particular piece of equipment, you can go to the Wisconsin Supplier Network. Well, we've expanded that to include a source for PPE and other protective equipment, personal protective equipment, and then other things you might need in order to make sure that your business is safe for your employees and your customers. So they really go hand in hand. We've got the guidelines and then the Wisconsin Supplier Network, which you can find at wisconsinsuppliernetwork.com. So I encourage you to go there if you're struggling as a business to find the equipment that you need in order to restart your business, or if you've been up and running and you want to add some security as far as plexiglass or masks, things like that. Go to wisconsinsuppliernetwork.com and you'll be able to find those. We had one other interesting and exciting thing happen today, which is we've launched the application process for our Ethnic Minority Emergency Grants. So this is a grant fund that is coming from WEDC. It is a total of $2 million worth of grants, but those are going to be distributed in $2,000 increments to 1,000 businesses. And in order to qualify for that grant program, you need to be a small micro business. So 5 full-time employees or less, and that includes the owner. And you need to be in the retail or hospitality or service sector. The last piece of eligibility is that you need to not have received funding from another WEDC program like SB 2020 or from the Small Business Administration payroll protection programs. A lot of acronyms. And so the idea behind this ethnic minority emergency grant is to really find the small micro businesses in Wisconsin that haven't been able to access these other programs. They're critical to the fabric of our Wisconsin communities, and so we want to make sure that where we can help with that funding. So the application process is now open. It's open from May 18th, which is today, until May 24th. So just about a week, and you can find the application and the application site on our website at wedc.org. And again, I encourage you to apply. You've got a few days, so have your documentation ready. We need a 2018 or a 2019 tax return, and another piece of documentation just to show that you are in business back in February. And then we'll be able to start processing your application. What's going to happen is we'll get all of the applications that are filed between now and May 24th, and all the eligible ones will be entered into a pool. And then we'll have a lottery of the ones that get the grant, and we'll be reaching back out to folks and be able to disperse those monies. So again, that's our micro businesses really trying to access those. Other piece of exciting news that I have for you today is, hang on, I'm going to get to my papers so I get everything right, is Governor Evers has just announced today the release of $75 million worth of CARES Act funding that will be used for the We're All In grant and initiative fund. So this is a $75 million grant fund that WEDC is going to assist in the distribution of. It's going to be $2,500 grants to 30,000 businesses all around the state. And again, we're looking at those small businesses that have really been impacted by COVID-19. This time, we're looking for businesses with 20 or less full-time employees, and we'll have a similar application process as what we're doing with the Ethnic Minority Emergency Grant Program. The application process will start in early June. We're still getting the details worked out of that, and we want to make sure that we work the bugs out of our system because we anticipate a lot of interest in this grant. But we're really excited because this is part of an effort to restart the Wisconsin economy. And while $2,500 might not seem like a lot, when we're talking about the need to purchase PPE or to get some inventory to restart your small business, if you're a coffee shop and you need to buy milk and pastries, this is going to help those small businesses get that little bit of grease, hopefully, to start opening and to really get rolling again. So we're excited about that. We're thankful that Governor Evers has given WEDC a role in distributing these funds, and we look forward to getting more information about that out. If you want more information as it becomes available, please go to our Focus Forward website at wedc.org and click on the COVID resources. You'll go to Focus Forward and you can subscribe. You might have already done that because of your participation in my live stream today, but we really encourage you to subscribe because then we'll be able to get you more information as it becomes available, not only on our resources, but particularly on the Focus Forward program and the We're All In grants. So please do that. We're also really going to start an effort across Wisconsin, and that's why we're calling it We're All In. We need everybody in on our economic recovery, whether you're a community or a small business or just a consumer. Everybody needs to be participating in our economic recovery by participating in our safety measures. Social distancing and hand washing, disinfecting and masks, these are all pieces of the puzzle that will help keep the COVID virus from spreading and will help keep us all healthy and safe. And by being healthy and safe, we can continue to have our economic recovery. If we don't do these things, then, my fear is we will step back as far as economic recovery goes, and that's going to be really hard to withstand. So let's just do what's right. We're all in this together. We're all in Wisconsin together, and I'm excited to start this work on a statewide basis to really unify and be thinking about how we can be working together. I have some other updates for information that's become available on Focus Forward. I did a podcast last week with Luke Zahm, who is the owner of the Driftless Cafe here in Viroqua, Wisconsin. He's a good friend of mine. He also is the star of Wisconsin Foodie. And we were able to talk about what he's experiencing as a small business owner, what he's thinking about when he restarts his business, and some of the challenges, with facing, having conversations with his employees and making sure that he's meeting his customers' expectations as they come back in to his restaurant. And so it's an interesting conversation, and I encourage you to find that at Focus Forward and reach out to that. The other thing that's really exciting on our Focus Forward website is we are having all of our materials translated into languages that will assist businesses in being able to access our resources and understand them. So we've had translations into Spanish and into Hmong, and we'll be continuing to look for those translations that are needed by our Wisconsin citizens. But I think that'll be really helpful in being able to really dig into the resources and understand what you can access. So that is what the announcements that I have for today. As we're going forward, I think it's just really important to keep in mind that at Focus Forward, we are trying to give you more and more information as we go through these trying times so that we can all be working together and recovering together. One of the really interesting things that I've seen in the last few weeks and months is the drive towards Wisconsin businesses and saving them and making sure that we all get through this together. Our small businesses are a really important part of the fabric of our community. And so it's really important that as things reopen, we might have gotten used to ordering online or going to a big store, but remember that those small businesses, those mom and pops or the women-owned businesses on main streets in Wisconsin are really critical for having a vibrant community. And so it's really important that we remember to go back and participate in those businesses and reward them for doing what's right. Reward them for the hard work that they did to stay closed during this time, and then their employees are coming back to work, and we need to really get the economy rolling again. So I'm encouraged about that. During this time, we've had some questions about how local economic development groups can help. They are a huge resource for you as small businesses to be able to go and work with them and talk with them. So I encourage you to, seek out your local economic development groups. You can find links to them on our website. Local chambers of commerce have lots of information, and I've been able to participate in some webinars and Zoom calls with local chambers, and they're really making sure that their businesses know what's going on. And it's a nice support community during these times when you can, just sit at home and feel alone. It's a really good way to reach out to a support community. We also had a question come in about food trucks. And, it's interesting to think about these moving restaurants that have come into our lives in the last few years and how great they are at events. When you go to a fair or you go to, an art show and you're able to grab some food at the food truck. We all love that, but with a lot of events being canceled, it's pretty challenging time for food trucks. And so if you are an owner of a food truck, I encourage you to go and look at our restaurant guidelines on the WEDC.org website, access those, and be thinking about, okay, how can I make sure that my food truck is comfortable for my customers and I'm doing the right thing for my employees? And then, continue talking to your chamber about opportunities where you might be able to set up your food truck and be able to serve your food and meet your customers' needs, even if those critical events are being canceled. So we really encourage you to do that. That is about what I have for today as far as information goes. And I really just encourage you to continue to reach out to Focus Forward and to keep talking with us about the challenges that you're facing so we can continue to learn from you and develop solutions and think about things together and how we can work forward together. So I'm Missy Hughes with WEDC, and thanks for your time today. Bye-bye.